Hoiberg will launch the three. Oh, he hits!
Clobber to left field. Another double for Washington. This time it's Nick Kresnak.
But no doubt, 2-run, go-ahead homer in the 7th. The bat flip puts the exclamation mark on a comeback.
An RBI knock from Kresnak, who's had an incredible night.
Sam Hoiberg, the son of the coach, to steal the bucket.
Welcome back to the sports section, episode 5. There he is, our point guard, Hoiberg. Sammy, it's great to be back with you. Congratulations on the career high. What a performance, my man.
Thank you. That was one. I was a little bit low on energy before that game, playing Maryland Eastern Shore, and it wasn't our best game as a team. Obviously, I played well, but before the game, I was low on energy all through warmups. I was like, gosh, I got to get going a little bit. And then right before we go out, I just get a burst of energy, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my dad's pregame speech, which aren't the most fiery, but it must have got me going or something. And I think one came out at that moment, and he hadn't himself a game. It wasn't me. That was one.
One really came out in that one. Holy smokes. 18 for the kid. And I feel like the offensive production in that game, we'll get to Saturday's game against Oklahoma. The offensive production in that game against Maryland Eastern Shore, a little bit less than I think you guys would have expected, but you sort of picked up on that slack, no?
Yeah, I mean, I started the game just rebounding the hell out of the ball. I think I had 5 boards within the first media. That's kind of been one of my goals this year, is to rebound really well. I think I've done a decent job in my career of rebounding, but I think I can kind of pick up those numbers a bit and help out the bigs, because we have bigs that really block out this year, and that helps as a guard because you're able to go in and clean it up, because your guy typically gets back on defense, guarding the point guard or shooting guard. So, yeah, got in there, cleaned up some boards, touched the ball a bit early, and then got some easy buckets in the second half, hit a couple threes, felt good. I really wanted the double-double. Couldn't get any rebounds falling my way the second half. I had all 7 in the first half, but we'll take the 18 points and 4 steals as well.
We were talking about this a little bit. You did catch a stray on the broadcast on Saturday, but it was kind of a backhanded compliment, because they were talking about your rebounding and how you were averaging 7 as a guard. And I forget who was doing the play-by-play, but he goes, really impressive. Sam Hoiberg averaging 7 rebounds from the guard position. And he's so generously listed at 6 foot.
See, it doesn't bother me, but I will say I technically am generously listed at 6 foot. It's a round up, but I am 5'11" and 3/4. Who in their right mind not say 6 feet? I look much shorter out there because I'm next to giants, but I am damn near 6 foot. So let's be honest, it's not a big deal for me rounding up a quarter of an inch, is it?
We're not rounding down.
Not rounding down. Maybe I should start rounding down. It'll look more impressive. Or we could do my non-shoes height. That would be generously listed at 6 foot.
How tall is 1?
One's like 6'8", dude.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit messed up, by the way, because your dad is like all of 6'5".
Yep. So probably 4.5.
And you and Charlie are the tallest out of your siblings?
We are.
That's messed up.
Jack's probably generously listed at 5'10", and he's gonna hate that if he hears that. I don't know if he will, but he was a damn good basketball player for only being about 5'10". And yeah, we got screwed in the height department, but at least it came through in other areas.
I really like to see what he looks like standing next to Wemby, because I know that he worked for the Spurs. But that's almost 2 feet?
Almost. Well, yeah, about 1.5 feet.
That dude's an animal, by the way.
Yeah, he's having a great season, man. The Spurs look good.
Really good.
Here for them.
Really good. So we've been given our fantasy updates. I got an exciting one for you. You ready for it?
Sure.
We've heard about my struggles this year. After this week, I am now the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. I scored 143 this week. Big week. Another great job out of my guys. Josh Allen almost had a 50 burger. And we won, baby.
Let's go.
We got it done.
Back on the W train.
We're 3-8.
Not
And you know
not
who-
a good week for me.
You want to know who we beat this week?
Who'd you beat?
We got our guy, John King.
John King. Oh no, the football expert.
John scored 59 points this week.
Oh my goodness.
I beat him by 80.
We have to chat with him. We're gonna have to get him on the pod to talk about it.
We have to. And I looked at it today. If I played, John is 6-5 and is tied for second. We have 6 teams at 6-5 in our league.
Oh my god.
It- I've scored like almost 300 more points than John. If I played his exact schedule, I would be 8-3 and in first.
That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You just get the bad luck.
Let me just tell you though, don't let me go 6-8.
Big 80-point win. That's good for the locker room.
It is. How'd you do?
Not so good this week. We lost to Satchel, one of the GAs. I got a real gripe here with the former TCU alum, Quentin Johnston.
Mm-hmm.
I have pretty good receivers on my team. I got Jalen Waddle. I got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Cortland Sutton, Chris Olave, Juwan Jennings. So I didn't play Q a lot at the start of the season, and he was just going crazy early on. This is the second week, at least, that I played him where he scores 0 points. A donut.
I did notice that because John started him against me.
That is, yeah, I haven't played him a lot. I think 2 of the 3 times I've played him, he's put up a donut for me. So we need some production from the TCU alum.
I'm sorry that our frogs aren't doing it for you.
It's all right. We're going to bounce back. We needed an off week. We just won a couple in a row. Get some fire under the boys. We're going to be just fine.
Locker room resets. Let
Yep.
Sam Darnold give the pump up speech,
Yep, absolutely.
and then we'll be good. We're going to get to Q&A with you and Pryce Sandfort soon. Got some good questions submitted by the fans, so thanks to everyone. But I do want to talk about you for a second. You told me a couple days ago that the Pentagon was the loudest basketball arena you'd ever been in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was number 1, but it was for certain top 5, and it might have been the loudest. There was, I believe, 3,400 in attendance. I'm sure 3,350 of those were Huskers, maybe more, maybe just a handful of Oklahoma fans there, and they were rowdy. Oklahoma starting 5 video, whatever was going on. Couldn't hear the music. The Husker power chants were going on. It was unbelievable. And they really helped us out. That was basically a home. I talked about it. It's like a home game on a neutral floor, which could be huge for the tourney resume. And they pulled us out of, we were down 16 and the energy stayed high. I don't think any of us were really rattled. We knew we had the fan support, and obviously you got it rolling there in the second half and got that W.
I did notice Porter Moser had a little bit of a gripe post game about the neutral site environment. He said that the committee better not be looking at that as a neutral site, which I think pretty much everyone else would say in his shoes as well. Dude, there's been a ton of great neutral sites games over the last few weeks. I love how college basketball is just having dominant or powerful programs playing against each other in the non-con. We got the Champions Classic tonight too. Like, it's been incredible.
Yeah, it's so much fun watching those big time teams play each other early on. You get a good look at those teams. Obviously, they improve a lot throughout the season, but they're really fun to watch in those early games. You see how they stack up when they're not playing their best necessarily. So I'm pretty for that Michigan State game tonight. I'm cheering them on as a Big Ten fan.
I saw this on Twitter. Did you notice during the game the Husker fan that got thrown out of the first row?
I didn't really pay attention to it in the game. I heard about it. The full mess fan. I don't know if you get much Husker stuff on your Twitter. Mine's all Husker stuff, and he's become an icon within the community.
He has. I saw it because he did like an interview today. Yeah, he was wearing a shirt that said, "What I'm at full mast." That's so good. Yeah, and he got tossed for like throwing the ball too hard back to the ref.
Yeah, he said the ref said he threw it too hard, and he didn't even swear at him. He said, "Call the game right." Which we're not going to get into the refs calling it right or wrong, but the fans were not happy in the first half, and he put a little heat on it. The ref caught it. I don't think it was an issue, but got in his feelings a little bit there, unfortunately.
Yeah, what are we doing? Come on. Anyway, that environment looked awesome. I watched that whole game. You guys looked unreal. Your offense is real.
Yeah, Fred's in his bag this year. He's got his guys. He's got the shooters. We've talked about it. Having Rink at the 5 opens up so much, and you can, I mean, just by watching our offense, you can really tell. But we're feeling real confident with the team right now. Our defense was not the best. We want to clean that up a bit, but definitely a great resume building win early on this season that you don't get many chances like that. And we have 2 more coming up this week, but yeah, obviously that was a huge one for us.
And this is not a knock against your defense at all, but I compare it a little bit to like Big 12 football, where it doesn't matter how many points you give up. If you guys score 105 points, you're going to win.
Yeah, we definitely have the firepower. If we shoot it well, we're going to put up a lot of points every night. And if we can get our defense clicking, man, we got a pretty high ceiling with this team. So that's why, I mean, I've really been looking forward to this year. And if we have any shot to get that tournament win, I really do think this is going to be a team that's going to give us a chance at that.
That Saturday win was highlighted by a career high 28 from Pryce Sandfort. Should we get into the interview? Welcome Pryce into the show.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right. Welcome on the second ever guest of the Sports Section Pod, coming off a career high 28-point performance at the Pentagon last Saturday against Oklahoma. Pryce Sandfort, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for taking the time to join us. Congrats. What a game that was. We were just kind of talking about the atmosphere, but I was watching that whole game and you guys go down 10-0 right at the start. And then what, you had 10 of the next 12?
Yeah, I don't even know, honestly. But yeah, I got off to a good start. So that was good for me, for sure.
That was 2-1 out there, not Price. Doesn't even remember.
I hate that. We only have one of those guys that goes by the number. That's you. It's when one
there you go.
Oh,
That's
It's
one.
only when I score double digits, we've decided. That's when 1's out.
How many did you have?
8. So it was just me.
That was Sam on Saturday, 1 against Maryland.
Sam airballed that 3 by like 8 feet.
Hey, we're living with that look, though.
So I'm going to confront that. I'm not going to let you guys bring it up.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's just one of those shots for the ball. It never fell right in your hand, and we're going to move right on from it. Made the free throws later. We made up for it.
Yeah, well, and talking about that 3-point shooting, I think you guys were over 50% as a team, but Pryce, you kind of just shot the lights out. And Sam's told me a couple times that that's just sort of what you do in practice. What is going right with the shooting?
I don't know. It just, I've had some ups and downs throughout the summer and fall, obviously, as all shooters do. But I think having Coach Hoiberg here helping me out, like I heard Sam talk about it, like he, it's not completely changing the shot, but he's really good at finding that little thing that might be just affecting your shot a little bit. So it's great having him, work with me after practice when I'm not shooting it well or anything like that, and it just almost immediately fixes it. So it's been great.
And so I read your Nebraska bio a little bit, and I think it said that you averaged about 28 in high school. I couldn't find what the high was. What was the high in high school?
42, I believe. Yeah.
That's not too bad. And so for you coming over from Iowa this year after your 2 seasons there, got to play with your brother. I think a lot of people, especially Big Ten fans, are familiar with him. What sort of led to that decision for you joining Nebraska as opposed to any other team?
Yeah. So obviously, Coach Fran got fired, and so I knew I needed to go in the portal just so I could leave all my options open. And as I kind of expected, just from my high school recruiting process, Nebraska was one of the first schools that reached out. I knew that it'd be a good fit just from, what I learned in the recruiting process in high school. And I got on a visit here and everything just felt great. I took a couple other visits, but it was a tough decision, but I just knew in my heart that I wanted to be here. And I knew that was the best fit for me overall.
Well, and I read too that you went to Fred Hoiberg's basketball camps at Iowa State growing up. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Me and Sam against each other. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got a story to tell from this. Price, you're 2 years younger. I didn't realize it at the time. I thought you were 1 year younger, but so Peyton, his older brother, we played against each other all the time. We're the same age in Iowa. This is about, I mean, elementary, middle school years, but so they had a team. It was Peyton, Pryce, Charlie, and then I don't remember the other kids at the camp, but they were good players, and they were a powerhouse in the kids division. And they were undefeated, what, like 7-0 or something, and they were forced to make a trade because the team was unfair. And they traded Pryce. What grade were you in? Third, maybe?
No, he was younger than that.
Yeah, but Pryce might have been second grade. So
Yeah.
they were going to trade Pryce.
No, they traded Peyton. It wasn't me.
They traded Peyton.
Yeah.
Peyton was the best. Yeah, he was bigger than everyone. He was the best player. And Pryce started crying because Peyton got traded. He didn't want his brother to leave his team. So Pryce was crying, and they're like, "Oh shoot, we got to fix this." They sent Charlie to the team and leave Peyton on the team to make Pryce happy. Charlie got put on the team that was one of the worst in the league. Was pissed off about
Charlie
it.
still gives me crap for that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, the tears worked from the second grade Pryce.
Were you better than Charlie at that point?
We were pretty similar. I think I was always maybe a little bit better. And then my team ended up beating Pryce and Peyton payback.
I don't even remember that. We didn't win it that year?
Now you guys won it all, but we were the only team to take you down once.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I said when Pryce committed to Nebraska, I was like, I am sick and tired of playing against Sandforts. I said to his parents, I can't wait to finally play with one.
Yeah.
And it's working so far.
Yeah.
Pryce is always he's gonna give me at least one assist a game. Typically more, but at least one.
Hey, man. Good credit.
Player.
Find me when I'm open.
Right. I'll hit you with the laces right in the shooting pocket.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fun to play against.
No, those are the worst type of players to play against, like him and his brother, when they just have such a quick trigger and we call them lasers, because if you're a half second late, the shot's going up and you just have to pray it doesn't go in. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do to guard them. And that's what makes it so tough. Peyton had 2 points against us. We were up by like 15, I believe. This was the first game.
First game in Mount City. Yeah.
We were up. We weren't up by 15, but
it was up there though. It probably got over 15 at one point.
It might have been 15. So we were up big, and Peyton was cold, had like 2 points. We foul him early in the first half. He makes a free throw, and it's just like
What did you end up with? 30?
He ended up with 32 points. He had 30 in the second half in overtime. And we've seen Pryce go on runs like that, obviously against Oklahoma now and in practice. So it's good to have that on your team. I'll say that.
So, Pryce, I don't really know my Midwest geography as well as you Midwest guys, but tell me, is Waukee, is that right?
Yep. Waukee.
Where is that located? Did you grow up a Hawkeye fan or a Cyclone?
Okay, so Iowa State Ames is like 45-ish minutes away from Waukee, and Iowa City is like hour 45. So I grew up a big Iowa State fan. Obviously, I was going to, Coach Hoiberg's camps. So, but yeah, that kind of obviously flipped when I got into high school and college when Peyton was on the team, and so I'm not an Iowa State fan anymore at all. So, yeah.
Fun fact, Nebraska football fan growing up.
Yes, that is also true. My dad is from Holdridge, Nebraska. Shout out to Holdridge. It's about, I can't remember how far it is from here, maybe 2 hours. It's south, little small town, but it's a great place. And so I was taught the ways of Husker football as a child.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Better than being an Iowa State football fan growing up. I'll tell you that much.
No kidding.
It's some tough years.
Yeah. I still like kind of rooted for Iowa State just because of the basketball, but yeah, those were some rough football years for sure.
What's your brother doing now? Is he playing pro ball?
Yep. He's with the OKC Blue, the Thunder G League team. So
very cool. How's the season going?
They're not winning games. So we'll see if they can turn it around. But Payne's playing well. Double shoulder surgery, so he's trying to get back into it. get his win back and all that.
So Sam and I talked about the offense a little bit. 105 is outrageous. I don't think anyone necessarily expects you guys to score 100 every single game, but how do you guys continue that high-powered offense and stay hot as shooters? Your shooting percentages have been incredible so far. What do you need to do to continue that towards conference season?
We talk about it a lot with our team. It's just the pace that we play with. When we play with that pace that we know we can play with, it really wears teams down. Like Coach Porter Morser was talking about after the game, we just kind of wore them down with our pace. So if we can keep that up, it's really hard to guard us. I'll also say having a popping shooting big like Rank who can do it all makes it a lot easier to get to the basket. When they're 6'10", really lengthy big man can't just sit at the rim and block shots. It frees up a lot of lanes for drives, and also just making the simple play. We're really good at those one dribble kicks. Just making the simple play is something that we need to keep emphasizing, and that's going to get us a lot of good looks from three.
We got a lot of weapons too. It's now in this early in the season, I believe 7 guys who've scored over 15 points in the game, including the exhibitions. And Kale just scored 10. He's very capable as well. But we have so many guys that can knock down shots and make plays, and high IQ guys. So just having that makes an offense run a lot smoother, and we can take advantage of what the defense is doing to us. And it's hard to counter having so many guys on the floor that can make a shot.
Well, and Sam, maybe you can kind of speak to this too from a defensive perspective. Oklahoma's a really good offensive team too. What they had 95 plus, I forget what the final was, but that's a really talented offensive team that's well coached. How good do you think that team is? What do you kind of expect from them the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, they're very talented. That those 2 guards are dynamic, and their bigs are real athletic. They know when to slash. They're good offensive rebounders. So they're going to give a lot of teams problems, especially when they get hot like that. Fortunately, we just got even hotter than them. But I mean, they have a really good coach. They exposed some of our weaknesses on defense and made plays out of it. So I think they got a chance to be a pretty damn good team, and definitely make some noise in that conference.
And hopefully for you guys.
Absolutely. If they're top 50, that's a quad 1 win for us, which is one of the most important things when you're trying to build a tourney resume.
No doubt. All right. We did ask our loyal listeners, thanks everybody who's still tuned in, for some questions for these guys. Got some submissions, so I'll rattle off a couple for you. We did get a lot about golf, interestingly enough. I know Sam is a big golf. You play as well, Pryce?
Yes, I do.
Pryce is a 3 handicap. He's
Whoa!
very, very good golfer. This is the right person to have on for golf questions.
No kidding. I don't know if I was a 3 all of last year, but
You got down there.
We'll say I'm a 3.
That was Diesel asking for an update on Pryce's golf game, by the way.
I'll give him the update.
Speak.
He's asking me? Oh, I haven't touched a club in a couple months. Yeah, I don't know. I got a new driver at the end of the season, so that'll be continue to be broken in. I got the QI35, just like Sam.
Shout out TaylorMade.
Shout out TaylorMade. Yeah, please. That'd be great.
Sponsor the show.
Sponsor the show. So yeah, I'll continue to break that in, and hopefully I can get down to like a 2 or a 1 next year.
We're gonna play a lot of golf when the season ends. We're gonna both get down low number.
We started off strong, and then we kind of just died out as the summer went on. But
It's that class schedule, man.
yeah,
Screwed me.
Are you a better golfer than Charlie, Sam?
This summer I was able to play way more than him. He's grinding as a GA right now, and I played a ton. This is the most golf I've played probably since high school, and I got to a plus .1. First time I've ever gotten to plus numbers. I wasn't as good at the end of the year, but at my peak, I finally hit the plus handicap numbers. And Charlie he showed flashes. He was a +2 in high school, so he had the better peak. But this summer, I was beating him most of the time.
Yeah, off that, one of the questions that we did get was if you could beat your brothers in golf. I know Jack at one point was committed to play college golf, right?
He was right I think, right after his senior season of golf. So he was obviously a very high level golfer. I think all of us at our peaks would definitely it'd be day by day whoever won. But Jack and Charlie probably got to a little bit better than me. But I mean, I was right there with them, and my best golf was this past summer. So it really is any given day who's playing the best that day is going to win. So I can beat them 100%.
All right, Pryce, we got a question for you from somebody named Meyer, I think. Who wins in a one-on-one, Peyton or Pryce?
I think pretty obvious it's me. I mean,
Obviously.
obviously, yeah. Just take him to the hole every time. Can't guard.
Shots fired, Peyton. Tune in.
Yeah. He'll have something to say about that.
I'll say this. This is not a shot at you, Peyton, but Price is by far the superior driver to the hoop.
He'll fight you on that too.
He'll fight me on it. It's what I've seen. I watched him a lot. And Price just slithers his way to the rim. Payne didn't quite do it the same. Payne had you beat in some other things, but driving to the rim, you got him. So I can see you winning the 1v1. It's the same thing as me and my brothers in golf. It's whoever's hitting that day. That's who'd win.
This one's for you, Sam, from my boy Connor Stockamp, who goes to North Carolina State, asking if you remember the 4 overtime game there in 2021.
Boy, do I. This was my redshirt year, so I wasn't playing. And oh man, this was a crazy game. It was still early in the season. We weren't off to a good year. We were not good that year at all. And we were up maybe about 8 with about 11 minutes to go. I believe it was Lat Mayan fouled a guy in the corner right by their bench, and it got into a little scuffle. And next thing I knew, guys were flying by me, running down to the other side of the court. I was just kind of tiptoeing over there. Didn't really feel like running into a huge fist from a 6'11" guy hitting me in the face, so I didn't storm in there. And then they ejected about half of our team.
Did you get ejected?
No, it was whoever passed half court, so I was like right there. I almost did.
Okay.
It wasn't half the team, but it was a lot of guys.
I thought it was ejected if you go on the court at all.
I think it might be that now.
Situation.
Yeah, so I wasn't ejected, and then they brought it back. Tied it, went into overtime. Bryce McGowan's had a free throw, I think, in regulation to go up by 1 with about 10 seconds left and missed. So that went to regulation, overtime. And then, or no, this was regulation. Alonzo Verge drove to the basket. The replay was clear as day. It was tied, and his arm got hammered. And they didn't call the foul. Went to overtime. I think the first overtime, Bryce missed a free throw. Tied another overtime. I don't really remember how we got to quadruple overtime, but we were in foul trouble, and it was getting real close to me having to pull a red shirt, which I would not be playing this season if I had to play that game.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And we lost. But that, I mean, it was one of the craziest games I've been a part of, no question.
That's wild. I don't remember that game. I guess we probably weren't watching as much because you weren't playing, but we definitely watched our fair share of games that year.
Yeah, it was early on. I don't even know if I had met you yet, Mounsey.
Yeah, I don't think so, actually.
Yeah, that's a good question. That brought me back.
Shout out to our guy, Connor Stockamp. He listens to every episode, loves the pod.
Shout out, Connor.
Big time. I guess last one, maybe for you, Pryce. This related to the Oklahoma game. What was the mindset, I guess, personally and as a team going into halftime and coming out of halftime? Also, GBR, good luck this year.
Okay. I think the main message was just kind of like keep chipping away at the lead. We were really, really fighting. We got down 16 at one point or whatever it was, and just continued to chip away at the lead. Big shout out to the crowd for that. It was really big in the win. But we emphasized some of our defensive adjustments, being in the right spot, communicating, transition defense, rebounding. I know we got dominated on the glass to start the game, so that was a big emphasis coming out of half. So, but yeah, just keep fighting, really. And obviously we did, and we got up even double digits. So, yeah.
I think the quote was, my dad said, "Keep throwing haymakers, and we're gonna win this thing."
I think that was in the cinematic recap, wasn't it?
But yeah, the main message was to keep battling, and we were in a good spot. We just got some momentum going into half, cut it to single digits, and we knew we were in that game. I don't think people really faltered, which was great to see. I mean, that's one of the main things that kind of shows you what your team is how you handle adversity, and you don't quit when you're down 16 because I mean that's a pretty big margin. But I think it's going to happen this year. We're going to get in holes if we're not shooting it well, and we got the shooting to get out of it, which was one of the scares when you played the Sandfort brothers at Iowa. Is they could come back in an instant just because of the shooting ability, and we have that on our team this year. So we're just going to try to keep that same intensity the whole game, and just don't get too worried if you're down big, because we do have the capability to come back, and it was nice to show that in an early game.
You guys definitely did not give up. Pryce, a big part of that. Congrats again on the career high. Good luck this week in Kansas City against New Mexico. Thanks for joining the show. Best of luck the rest of the year. Pryce Sandfort, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. It's been an honor.
Chin Price.
All right, a big thanks to Pryce Sandfort for joining the show. Great to hear from a couple guys now on the Cornhuskers. Shout out to Sammy for getting the guys on the show. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the college basketball world. Like we kind of mentioned, it was an awesome week where ranked teams were going up against ranked teams. Who did you get to watch this week?
I didn't get to watch a whole lot. I watched Purdue, Alabama. That I love watching Purdue play. Braden Smith is one of my favorite guys to learn from, and just uh, watch play in general. So seeing them take down Alabama at Alabama after having some kind of rough games to start the season. I know we talked about on the last one that you were a little bit worried about them with their start, but they got the Kaufman run back, and they look like number one again.
Well, and they did get pushed down to number 2 last week, and then the new AP poll came out today, and they're right back at number 1. And they win that game 87-80. Braden Smith led all scorers with 29, and he had 29 and was 7 of 19 from the floor. He did such a good job getting to the foul line in that game. I'm increasingly impressed with how good he is, especially at the college level. And it's kind of evident in various sports, but college basketball is so different to me than the NBA. It's just a completely different game where you talk about, guys' games translating or not, but he was easily the most impactful player in that game, made shots when it mattered, got to the line. He doesn't miss foul shots, by the way. And his basketball IQ, I feel like, is his greatest asset.
Yeah, 100%. And his skill with the ball is just elite. I mean, his ball handling is so good, which gives him the ability to make the plays that he sees with his IQ. He's unbelievable at hitting the pocket pass and the pick and roll, which is a very underrated skill. And you got Trey Kaufman-Renn to, put those little flick shots in. It really helps as well. But, he finds shooters. Fletcher Royer is shooting at an unbelievable level right now. And, they're looking like a scary team right now. So it'll be fun getting to play them this year.
Also in the Big Ten, this was on Friday night. Number 6 at the time, Michigan. I'm not sure where they are in this week's AP, but they really struggled in Fort Worth against the Frogs. TCU was up 2 at halftime, and then Michigan's defense is really good. They held the Frogs to 28 in the second. Michigan ends up winning by 4, but it seems like a little bit of a rocky start in Ann Arbor. They are ranked very high, but I don't know. Have you been able to watch them at all this season?
I did watch that game. Yeah, I mean, I think TCU did a really good job against them. I thought they rebounded really well against Michigan's huge size, and they kind of controlled the tempo of that game early on, I thought, and that's huge when you're playing against teams that have more talent. Michigan is, I mean, there's some growing pains with the new team, with all the new guys they got, and I think that showed a little bit. I still believe they're going to be a top 10 team this year, so not too worried about them on that front. But yeah, TCU gave them a great fight.
Well, and I love what you said there about teams having more talent, because that's so apparent in the college game. You would never see that in the NBA. I mean, sure, there is a talent discrepancy based on the players that you have, but there's not as wide, even close of that margin yet. In college basketball, anyone can win on any given day.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just a lot to do, I think, with the transfer portal and the NIL now, like, especially when you're seeing mid majors play against high majors, like, there's games you just write off as wins, in college, which you can't do in the NBA. And it's that's not how you look at it as a player when you're playing against teams with lower talent. You obviously respect every single opponent. But yeah, I mean I think it's kind of fun to watch how coaches are game plan for playing a team that definitely has more talent because you know it when you're going to play them. And if you can control your game plan and get your game on the floor, as we call it, then you'll have a shot to win. So it definitely makes it a lot of fun to watch, and those upsets are just a bit more fun in college basketball.
That's why we love college hoops, man. And we talked about the now number one Boilermakers. Last week, the number one team in the land was Houston. They went to Birmingham to play Auburn on Sunday. Did you catch any of that game?
I didn't see that game, but I did see it was a really close game.
Auburn gave them all they could handle. I was really impressed with Auburn. Houston did look good. And Kingston Flemings, I'm going to put him up there with all the rest of these freshmen. He led all scorers with 22. And this is a really young Houston team, which I feel like is not typical for Kelvin Sampson. He likes to hang on to guys for 4 years, which has been real successful for him. And I'm increasingly impressed with Auburn as well. Tahad Pettiford is outstanding. He wasn't great on Sunday. I think he was like 5 of 14 from the field. I think he had 15, but I'm not worried about Houston at all. And I think Auburn can really contend too.
Yeah, I mean, Houston is just one of those teams that will grind you down, and they're so physical, so well coached that you're going to see them improve, especially with young guys the more the season goes. And I haven't watched a lot of Auburn. I know Pettiford is supremely talented, and it's going to be real interesting to see how Bruce Pearl's son does taking the helm of that program and seeing if there is any drop off. I mean, I know they struggled a bit early on. I can't remember who they played, but they had a real close game that they ended up winning. I think it was against a mid major. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they continue to play with head coach popping out just like about a month ago, 2 months ago.
It was pretty recent. Yeah. And the final was 73-72. And Auburn had a shot to win it at the end. This was not that close of a game going down the stretch. Houston was kind of able to pull away pretty consistently. They got a little bit unlucky with some fouls in the last minute, but a credit to Auburn. They did everything right, especially in the last 2 minutes. And I feel like getting that experience late into games is so important before conference play because, especially in the SEC and the Big Ten, the last 2 minutes of games are so decisive.
Yeah, 100%. And the more experience you get in those games, the more valuable it is. So many games in conference play are decided with those last 2 minutes that if you were able to be a successful team at the end of games like we were 2 years ago, we won a lot of close games, especially at home. And that's what got us into the tournament. We finished with 23 wins that year, largely due to executing down the stretch, making free throws, and handling the pressure that you get when the team is down. But yeah, I mean, those early season reps like we had against Oklahoma, we were not flawless down the stretch. We had turnover, a hook and hold. Actually, they were able to make 2 free throws. I think we got to stop after that, and then we turned it over, and they got an and one. So it cut down to 4 real quick when we were up, I believe, 9. So, getting those reps early on is going to be more than valuable for us.
That was the first time I had seen it in college basketball this year, but I forgot about the hook and hold being a technical.
Yeah, I didn't see the replay. I'm not sure if it was, but I'm really proud of our guys' attitude in that moment. We said before we even knew what was happening that we were just going to move on from it real quick. and just finish the game the right way, because you can't control those things at times. It happened, and we were able to move on from it quick enough. Obviously, the and one after was not ideal, but made some free throws after that and finished the game right.
It did look like a hook and hold to me on the replay, but again, I don't know how much I agree with the premise of that being a technical. Of course, it was accidental, and when you got big guys banging in the post like that, they're going to get tangled up at times. I just don't love penalizing aggression.
The Big Ten is so physical, and I think a lot of the times guys are fouling every possession trying to get a rebound, and I love that they let it go, but yeah, I'm not sure what the thought process behind the hook and hold. I believe it's just because it's a dangerous play, same as like a targeting in football. So I think that's mainly the reason they call it a tech now, just to try to get it out of the game. But you can definitely get tangled up in there trying to go for a rebound, and it might not be your fault at times, but that's kind of what happened to BK there at the end. Is he didn't realize he had done it, and they called it on him.
DeAndre Ayton would be in hell in today's college basketball game. That dude did it more than anything I've ever seen in college.
But the hardest to not get it against was Zach Edey, because he did such a good job keeping his hands up that when you tried to go up and guard him, your arms would get tangled up in there, and he would go for the ball, and then you're stuck.
Mhm.
And if you get pulled to the ground or fall off balance, you're pulling him right down with you, and you get that T.
He's a freak of nature.
Oh yeah, he was a giant.
Yeah. So I know that you did not get to watch this game because it was simultaneous with yours, but this was the game of the week to me at the Garden in Boston, number 7, BYU, number 3, UConn. UConn gets it done by 2. They're back, man. They had a year off last year, but Danny Hurley has got his guys ready to go, and Alex Caravan was a problem in that game. Just shot the lights out. He was 4 of 4 from deep, 8 of 11 from the floor. UConn is scary again.
Yeah, I mean, Hurley does such a great job. They run really good sets that are complex, and they get open shots, and they're just really tough to guard. I haven't played them personally, but yeah, you can always count on them to be a contender. I mean, their down year was what? I mean, what seed were they last year? I don't remember, but they were still very solid. What was that?
An 8, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, as an 8 seed was definitely a down year for them, but they still won a game in the tournament, and you could definitely count on them coming back strong. And BYU is looking good, which is obviously a good sign for us as well. But how did that game go? Was BYU down pretty big at one point?
BYU was down 20. They lost by 2. DeBanza was really bad in the first half. He was good defensively, but went 1 for 6 from the floor in the first, 7 for 8 from the floor in the second, and ended up having himself a really good game. And honestly, I think that is kind of what it was in the second half. They just got him going, and they were able to sort of get him the ball in better spots than they were in the first. Hurley came out with a really good defensive game plan, and it took BYU a little bit of time to figure out how to attack it. But once they were able to get him the ball kind of on the wing at the high post in the short corner, he was really able to create one-on-one. And even when he was matched up with Caravan, who has a ton more experience, and even if Caravan had gotten switched onto him, it was kind of a nightmare for UConn, and he sort of scored at will in the second half. But UConn handles it. They're seasoned, they're veteran, and they get it done down the stretch. It was impressive.
Yeah, Debanza, I mean, he's going to score on anyone. It doesn't matter what type of defender you are. He's going to get his game off. And BYU runs a lot of good sets for him to get him downhill, and they take advantage of his skill set, which is really impressive to see. And obviously that second half I wasn't able to watch, but 7 of 8 from the field is just high level stuff.
Yep. Another really good week of college basketball this week. We mentioned it at the top, but currently, as we're recording this, number 17, Michigan State, number 12, Kentucky. Kentucky took on Louisville at the KFC Yum Center last week. Louisville ended up getting that one done, but I was talking to one of my buddies, Timmy Daly, big fan of the pod, by the way, huge college basketball guy. He watches more college hoops than anybody, but we were talking about how ridiculous it is that Louisville has a bird mascot. They're the Cardinals, and their arena is named after a fried bird company. got the Yum Center.
No, I've never thought about that. That is kind of insane.
It's crazy.
I guess a cardinal isn't chicken, so you got that going for them.
You do.
But maybe they got to be sponsored by PETA or something.
PETA should get in there. They
PETA
should
should get in there.
They should let people know what's going on.
They should be pissed off that fried chicken companies are able to sponsor these big games. They should get in there, be like, we're protecting these Cardinals.
It's all about the animals, man.
Shout out PETA. Not really.
Later tonight, as we're recording this, it'll be last night for you listening on Wednesday. Number 24 ranked Kansas, number 5 Duke in the Champions Classic at MSG. We get to see number 4 Arizona, number 3 UConn. Tomorrow in stores, the Wildcats have been playing a crazy non-conference schedule. And they're one of the best teams in America. Also tomorrow night, Alabama going to Chicago to play Illinois at the United Center. You got some experience at the United Center.
Sure do.
Like that
Not
place?
fondest memories, but definitely some cool moments being at those games. But those Bulls teams were not the best. And we lost to Minnesota in the one game I played there, so that wasn't fun either.
No, that's not fun. Was Derrick Rose there when your dad was?
He was. This was kind of post-prime D Rose. He had a facial injury the first season that my dad was there, so he was out a lot early on. But I'll pan this over. It's a little glary, but there's Fred and D Rose. We're in Fred's office, by the way.
Yeah, you got your feet up on the desk and stuff?
Not on the desk. He might kill me for that. But we're using his space. Didn't tell him either.
No, that's all right. He'll be all right. That's kind of all I have, at least. I do want to mention, though, we started our little pick'em segment. We both had the Patriots on that Thursday night game. So you're 1-0 now. I'm 1-1. You want to make another pick here to keep our tally going?
Absolutely.
All right. Who do you like for your pick of the week? Newest installment. Go ahead.
Personal here. Big rivalry game. Vikings-Packers. My boy, who also has an angry alter ego, 9, is going to come out in full effect, and the Vikes are going to get it done. Underdogs. Skull Vikings.
9-1 on the same page. I love it.
We got to get on the same wavelength here. That's how we're both going to be successful that way.
Going to Green Bay. I like that. You take an underdog. I'll take an underdog of my own. Give me the Cleveland Browns going to Vegas to take on the Raiders on a short week. If you watched Monday Night Football last night, another terrible game. That was a great take by us, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Since we said primetime games suck, there's been like 4 bad ones.
That's just the truth.
Good for us. We know ball.
We know ball.
All right. You got anything else, Sammy?
I did just look at the score of the Michigan State game. They are up 15 on Kentucky in the first half.
Whoa.
So that's a developing story that we're not going to be able to finish off. But they're up 40-25 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Kentucky might be in a little bit of deep water here. I saw a quote from Coach Pope. He said he just wishes he was a little bit further along with this team. And when I saw that quote, I mean, I would have picked Michigan State to win immediately. And that's great for the Big Ten. So a little bit scary for Kentucky maybe right now. We'll see how that game finishes out, obviously.
Yeah. And did your dad play with Mark Pope at some point?
Yeah, they're great buddies. Yeah. Mark Pope, I think he's hilarious. One of my dad's good friends. He was just an elite role player. All-time locker room guy from what I heard. He called my dad, I think 7 years into his career. They weren't on the same team anymore. He had finally achieved his career triple-double.
What?
In about year 7.
No.
Don't quote me on how many years that was, but it was a very long time to not achieve 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists.
That is awesome.
Talk about a guy that made a living off of being just an all-time locker room guy.
That rules. You got anything else for the people, Sam?
Thanks for listening, guys. If you stayed with us this long, send in an angry alter ego voice or call line, voice memo, whatever it is. We want to hear your alter egos. You got to hear mine or see mine, not hear against Maryland Eastern Shore. Hopefully it'll come back out on Thursday and Friday.
One's coming back. You guys got New Mexico on Thursday, correct?
New Mexico on Thursday, and then see how the game goes. We'll have either Mississippi State or Kansas State in Kansas City.
Going to be a fun weekend at T-Mobile Center, I believe, in Kansas City.
Yes, that's correct. It's hard for me to not think of it as the Sprint Center because that's what it was when Iowa State won those Big 12 tournaments. My dad was there, but yep, T-Mobile Center now.
That's right. Well, they're turning the lights off in the gym behind you. So I guess that means that that'll do it for us. Episode 5, another good one. We'll be back on Friday for episode 6. Probably going to have a baseball-related interview on that one with myself and Prez. Sam Hoiberg joins us every Tuesday. For Sam Hoiberg, I'm Matthew Mounsey. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, everybody. Call God. See you next time.